Hello everyone and welcome back to another collection video of 2017. This will be of my entire LEGO Star Wars minifigure collection. This year there are 349 different figures. I would like to put out a little bit of a disclaimer. There will be some figures that do have the wrong body parts and the wrong weapons, accessories, etc. And these are also not all of my figures. These are probably about 85 to 90%, and these were just the ones that I could pull out of all sorts of different sets and everything I have displayed right now. There are some that are lost in different boxes and even unopened sets as well. I'd like to go ahead and show you just the sheer size and magnitude of this, however. It's not the biggest collection. There's definitely a lot more bigger ones out there, but it did take quite a while to set these all up on the base plate. It took about an hour and a half to pull these all out of different sets and set them up. We're gonna go ahead and start on the right side over there though. You can see that the clone army takes up almost half of my entire minifigure collection. There are 176 clones. I'm not going to go over every figure in this collection like I have done in my previous army videos. That would just take too long. Just go ahead and describe different little chunks and sections. Here there are the original from 2005 Phase 2 clone with the cutout visor, and to the left of that there are also some clones. There are just 3 rows of those plain Phase 1 clone trooper back in 2002. To the left of that there is a little bit of an officer row with some commanders, captain, lieutenant, sergeants, and then just some plain of these. I can't really see of these. I fill up the rest of the row with just these plain Phase 1 clones. In this chunk right here there's just a whole bunch of different Clone Wars era clones. Whether that just be the plain Phase 1 version or the, as you can see, the Shock Trooper 501st. There's also some Wolfpack right there with the appropriate commanders leading those. And to the left of that, this is sort of the Special Forces row. There are 2 ARC Troopers and 4 ARC Troopers and some 91st Reconnaissance Corps. I'll go ahead and show you. 91st Reconnaissance Corps with some other pilots, gunners, and another few Clone Wars era clones back there. And to sort of round off this section, there's some Horn Company, some 212th led by Commander Cody, the Clone Wars era and the Episode 3 version, as well as some Phase 1 Bomb Squad troopers. And to the left of all of that, there's Commander Gree leading some 41st Elite Corps, and then some of the plain Phase 2 camouflage clone troopers from the old battle pack released in 2014. Here's just a little overview of the entire clone army. I didn't want to show you the whole thing really that in depth because the clone army is something that sort of remains hidden until the next year's clone army video. You can see though that it has grown quite a bit, and again I'm saving all those sort of hidden details for the clone army next year. I've already shown my clone army in one video this year, so it'd be kind of pointless to go all over that again. So this is just sort of a brief overlook. Let's go ahead and get on to the next little section of this collection. And of course, what clone army is without Jedi to lead them? So to the left of the clone army, there's a couple different Jedi minifigures. Some of them don't actually have lightsabers, like I said, not all of them will have the right accessories. There's some different Yodas, Obi-Wan Kenobis from Episode 1 and 2. Those are all the original versions. Anakin Skywalker, Clone Wars version, Episode 2 and 3, there's Ahsoka Tano, Stas Ali, and then there's a Ayla Secura minifigure, Jedi Bob, different Yodas, or excuse me, different Obi-Wans and Luke's back there from Episode 4 and 5 and 6. And that sort of all bleeds over into the little rebellion sort of setup that I have here on this base plate. There's a few different pilots, one of which is the Luke Skywalker from set number 7140, the X-Wing back in 1999, and then there is the Rebel Technician that also came with that set. Behind that there's a whole bunch of different Hoth troopers also led by Luke Skywalker from the 2010 Hoth Wampa Cave, and then there's sort of a Scarif Rebel trooper back there and another little Ewok just to fill in the gap. Then there's a row of different sort of heroes that we see throughout the original trilogy, whether that be Luke Skywalker or the different Han Solos. There's a Lando Calrissian, a couple different Wookiees, one of which is Chewbacca, and there's a few different little rebel troopers and that sort of thing. Then over to the Imperial section of this collection, there are 2 Darth Vaders, one of which is light up. Behind that there's a Boba Fett and a General Veers, and that goes right into some different soldier classes. There are 2 of the hover tank driver Imperial pilots, 3 different of the Scout Trooper from the speeder bike, one of which is actually a little customized. Everybody's drawn on their minifigures at one point or other, and I really regret that. That was from a long time ago. But then there was also a few, these aren't actually Imperial, but just a few different bounty hunters, just to fill in the gap, and one First Order officer back there. Then there's one full row of just a whole bunch of different Stormtrooper. These is different classes. There's a few different jetpack. These are also First Order and normal Imperials. This is just all sort of blended together for the Imperial and the First Order. Behind that there is also a Scarif Stormtrooper, or Shore Trooper, whatever you want to call that, and a new Imperial pilot from the TIE Striker. There are also 3 of the original Snow Troopers, one of the Flame Troopers from the new Battle Pack, and a, what do you call that, AT-AT driver, a Coruscant Guard, Shock Stormtrooper, I don't know what you really call that, he's from the Battlefront 1 Battle Pack. Then there's also a whole bunch of the original pilots, a specialized ground unit who sort of waves off the ships, I don't know what you want to call that guy either, and then also a Shadow Trooper behind all of that. We're going to go ahead and get right on into the sort of Phantom Menace setup right there. There's Obi-Wan Kenobi. This whole row, like I said, is just of Phantom Menace figures. There's an Obi-Wan Kenobi, a couple Qui-Gon Jinns, there's a Padme Amidala, a whole bunch of different Gungans. Some of those are Jar Jars, some are just the normal warriors, and then also just a few different Naboo security forces behind all of that. And then last, but certainly not least, there's a whole bunch of different Trade Federation and Separatist Alliance figures for sort of the hero class, or leaders, whatever you want to call it. There is a Count Dooku, a couple different Darth Mauls, didn't have time to pull out their lightsabers, just wanted to get to filming the video. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of figures without their accessories. And then there's a Newt Gunray. There is also another Jar Jar that found his way in there. A few different Mandalorians, some Old Republic troopers, just to sort of fill in gaps. And then again, just a few more Phantom Menace figures back there. A Jango Fett without his helmet, and sort of little medical droid. At the front, there is another Jango Fett with his helmet from the 2002 Jango Fett Slave 1. The original Boba Fett minifigure from 7153. He's the same set as the Jango Fett figure. Pago the Lesser, and General Grievous, and then just more Mandalorian minifigures. And then for the droids themselves, in the front there are a few different B2 battle droids, a few with the little proton launchers from the Clone Wars era sets, and then there's also just some of the plain. There's even one of the silver from the Episode 2 Republic gunship back in 2002, I think that was set number 7163. And then there's a whole bunch of different battle droids. Some of these have the wrong blasters, and some of them are actually sort of like crouched over, as you can see. That's because those are like from 2000 or 1999 or whatever, so they actually are not sticking together quite well, and they are actually quite loose and can't really stand up that straight. And back here there's a few different commando droids, a few different of the jet trooper droids, or I don't know what you call those, yeah, just jet pack droids or whatever. Then a battle pack full of the assassin droids, the little black one, and then the silver ones there as well. Then there are also 4 of these droidekas from the original clone gunship from 2002 as well. To sort of round off this collection video, there are also a couple different little beasts, I don't know what you want to call those things in front. I forgot the name of them, they're what the Gungans were riding on in Episode 1, I apologize, just go ahead and let me know in the comments. And there's also a Tauntaun, and then of course a little Wampa from the Hoth Wampa cave that tore Luke's, or that Luke tore his arm off. So yeah, that was just a real quick overview. I didn't really go that in depth with anything. If you want to see any specific sections such as the droids or the Imperial already done the Clone Army in particular, or just in more close-up, just go ahead and let me know and I can make a specific video on that. So thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what other videos you want to see, any other collection videos or more top 10s or whatever. So thank you for watching. May the Force be with you, and as always, have a nice day.